Hello! Welcome back to the show. Alright, people, we are here today to talk about hyenodons. Yep, well, sort of. Yeah, sort of. We're here to actually talk about the aspects of mutations and, of course, again, color sets. So, let's start talking. Anyway, let's look at these guys real quick. Alright, these are my hyenodons. Okay? They're Deadpools. Well, 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. Well, yeah. The one guy doesn't have the black on his chest, and I want the black on his chest. Like the other 3. Nope. Had to be difficult. Okay. So anyway. Alright, these 3 guys. Alright? Not including this one I'm looking at right now, because that's the one with the red chest. Are Deadpools. I got the colors together early, right? The black. See the black missing on the chest? Yep. This is the one that's being difficult. So I got these guys color sets on pretty early, and I've just been carrying them on through the mutations. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in and you're going to look at, well, one, you got to look at the family history, see where your mutations are. Mine are locked in right now. I can't mutate them. I got to breed them into a wild male or a wild female, whatever I get, and clear the one side of the mutations. So once you get locked in on a mutation set, right? Let's say you're over 20 on both sides. All right. So what you need to do at that point, and that's just my opinion too. There's people that do it differently, so don't mistake me as always being right. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take our time and breed these guys until we hit max above 20 mutations on each side. At that point, we'll be locked. We won't be able to mutate. It'll be horrible. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's been there too. You just can't, you can breed all you want, but you're not going to get a mutation. Yeah, you can work on colors during that time. That's what I do. But yeah, so I need to take these guys and breed them back to a wild hyenodon that has 0, 0 on mutations. And then when I pick up a mutation of 0 on the offspring, then I'm able to unlock the mutations again. Yeah. So we can continue to mutate down that line. Yeah. So the breeding it can get complicated at times, but we're gonna work through that. So like I was saying, these guys, they're one of my projects also. They're actually doing pretty good. But like I said, if you look into the family tree, you'll see that there's a lot of mutations on both sides, and they're locked in. That means you can't breed any mutations into them. Yeah, like I said, I picked this guy up from a trade the other day. I paid some pretty hefty tech for him. So, we'll work with him and get him into the lineup and see how it goes from there. Yep. Alright, so let's go in and look at this Arc Breeder, and we'll take off from there. Alright guys, we'll see you in the Arc Breeder. Alright guys and girls, we have made it into the Arc Breeder side of this. Okay, so let's take a look. We were looking at the hyenodons inside the game, and well, he's right there. Let's take a look at him in the stats. Alright? Okay. So let's look at the first one we got going on here. I don't have him labeled, so we'll start with him. Okay. So all of these guys, except for this one, let's say, alright, this one. I picked this one up to add into the stats about 4 or 5 breeding cycles ago. Okay. And I did pick up a couple of the stats I wanted. I wanted, you know, low ox and low food. You know, you don't know what kind of situation those two are going to be in. With them, you know, being hyenodons, you can't really control where they go. So being precautious is never a bad thing. So I leave a little bit of food and a little bit of ox in there. The food, it makes it easier for them to be raised during the breeding process. So it's one of the last stats that I eliminate. Speed is one of the ones I like to eliminate at first. Get that out of there. Depending on what type of animal that I'm breeding. But in this scenario, in this situation, we're looking at these dead pools, and we're going to basically need to go out and start taming what we need for what's called a zero stat animal. Now, for example, I would go out and I would tame a level, if I'm lucky, I would go to, say, Scorched Earth, where the levels are lower. Tame a level 5 Hyenodon, give it a beat down during taming so the efficiency is at 0. Once that happens, I repeat that process several times until I get all of my stats in a 0. Okay? And then you're going to take those mixing, the mix of animals you get, and you're going to breed them together until you get all of those zeros onto one animal. Okay? Now you can stop after you get a 0 stat for your speed. If you want food and ox, or nobody really wants ox, but hey, who knows? You might. Okay, so back to topic. When Alright, sorry guys, this is an editor note. Basically, I kind of made that a little too vague, so I'm going to clear it up real quick. Alright, so when you're taming your starter animals for a 0 stat, okay, you're going to have to do it many times. And what I mean by that is this. So you go out and you find a level 5 Hyenodon, right? You go out, you tame it. As it's taming, you're going to give it a beat down. Once it's got its beat down and its efficiency is at 0, then you've done all you can do. That animal needs to finish taming and come up with its low level stats. Now when you look at said animal after you've tamed it, you're going to hope to see at least 1 0. Okay? That's the goal. You want a 0. Now it could be in health, it could be in stam, but you want it in oxygen, and you want it in food, and you want it in speed. Okay? Because the other stats are useful. Now food can be useful, but you know, eventually it's got to get eliminated if it's a strict fighter. Now if it's a utility build, and you want to make your life easy, leave a little bit of food in there. Alright, so I'm going to let you guys get back to the video. Sorry for the interruption, but I thought I got a little vague, and I wanted to clear it up. Alright, see you soon. Now, once you get your 0 stat animal created, and you've combined all those zeros into one animal, okay? I would in turn take that Hyenodon and breed it back to, and hopefully it's a male, breed it back to all of my females, okay? And then hope to get 0 stat female out of that, okay? Once I get a male and a female 0 stat, then I'm able to breed out 0 stats repeatedly, okay? So you can either clone a bunch of females, alright, or you can breed a bunch of females. Either way, it works out good. You get the female base, and you keep them. You'll keep those 0 stat females for a long time, because the only one that's going to mutate is the male, right? Okay, so we're tracking so far. Now, let's look at what I've done so far on this guy. Alright? As you can see, we've mutated the damage and the HP only. These are all stock from when it was tamed. It still has a little speed left on there right now. As you can see, the line's been set for mutations. All of the numbers are identical, except when it comes to speed. I have not got speed worked out yet because I haven't bred out my zero stat animal. And I haven't found one with zero speed in it yet. So, those are ongoing projects for my Hyenodon pack. So, one of the things I wanted to cover tonight was the fact that you can continue mutating with the speed stat because it takes a long time to build that zero stat animal that I described. Okay, so you're going to have speed left in there for a good portion of that time. Okay, until you get your zero stat figured out. Alright? Because it's all about stat transferring. When you get to a certain point, you're mutating and you're stacking all your mutations in the areas that you want, like health and damage, right? Because that's basically all this animal needs. Stamina, nah, you don't really need it. Because nothing's riding a Hyenodon. Oxygen, he might get in water because they don't listen. So some, not bad. Zero would be better because then you've got more points to move around. But we're not at max stats right now. So we can be a little lenient on what we have in for a stat pool. Food, the more food you have, the easier the animal is to raise. Keep that in mind. I like to have a lot of my animals at zero though. I very attentive parent and I get most of them to adulthood. There are a few accidents here and there where I forget to feed or they run out of food. Yeah, it's happened. I'm sure it's happened for you guys too here and there. Alright, so anyway, now that we got that out of the way, as you can see, like I was saying earlier, we're doing a 42 and a 53 right now. That's the two stats we're mutating, and we're working towards getting those to cap. I do believe I'm going to split this around 50-50. What I mean is I'm going to put half the stats into health and about half the stats into damage. I'll put probably 25, maybe 30 points into weight because they are a meat pack animal, but they do get a saddle that allows them to carry much more. So anyway, this is the numbers side of it that I wanted to cover. It may be a little confusing as of right now, and I will make a video on how to do a zero stat animal. That is on my agenda, and it is in the future. We will definitely get to it. It's not that far out, actually. We got a few videos to do yet, but we will be covering that on a date to be determined. Alright guys, let's get back in the game and cover just a few more things real quick. And we'll wrap this video up and get you guys out and on your way on this episode. Alright, see ya in the game. Okay, so we're here to talk about a little more on mutations. Yeah. So the mutations, well, let's talk about chances. Yeah, let's talk about that, Dibbles. Chances are this 7% for a single mutation. And then you're looking at a 0.184% chance on a double mutation. And then for a triple mutation, you're looking at 0.00156. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, yeah. I've been doing it for a very long time, and I've only seen a handful of triple mutations. Yeah, they're pretty rare. So, the chances are there. You just got to take that chance. And for every female that you have in your breeding pool equals one roll of those dice. So, if you get 10 females, that's like having 10 chances at rolling the perfect number. So if you look at it as in dice, you want to be able to roll that dice as many times as possible to get a chance to get the mutation, right? Okay, so that's why you'll see a lot of breeders focusing on one animal with a large number that they're rolling. You know, I've seen tribes that have 300 and 400 animals out of the same animal. Yeah, one male and 299 females. Crazy. But yeah, that's large scale. Yeah, that's crazy stuff there. You gotta have people power for that. Yeah. So anyway, back to it. When you, like I was saying, when you get the mutation, you get a 2 stat boost and you get a color change. So there are roughly, last I looked, I think there were over 125 colors that you can get from mutations, and they keep adding more. So God knows where it's at now. Yeah. So anyway, we are talking about next on the list here is family tree. Yeah. So to keep your family tree in order, the best thing I can recommend for you to do is start labeling your animals. Figure out a labeling system that's going to work at a glance. So a lot of people put up all their stat numbers from ARC breeding, right? You pull your stats, you label your animal with those stats, and you don't have to pull it in ARC breeder anymore. You just got to look at the animal's name. Yeah, that's generally what I do, unless I'm breeding for colors, and then I do things differently. So we'll go from there, and we'll see how things go. And if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, put them down there in the comments. I check those pretty frequently, usually once or twice a day, just to make sure I ain't missing anybody. If you guys have any, just leave them down there and I'll get to you as soon as I can. All right? Sounds good. If I left out anything or you want to learn about something specific, let me know. I'll be happy to put some attention to it. Alrighty. Well, you guys have a good day or night, whatever applies, and we'll catch you in the next video. Alright. Take care.